kills, carrying their teams. They are all looking fantastic, but it's UQ. This team, when they take it to that next gear, they are near impossible to be stopped.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, they had a couple. I think they had 2 games where they weren't able to be fully stocked. However, like you said, when they are full on, ready to go, and they pull the trigger on the game, they are very, very hard to beat, as we saw in our last tournament for Semester 1, where they were able to...
Semifinals?
The semifinals, they were just able to go from a backline... Not backline. Oh, I'm having a hard time Englishing.
They had a rough start.
They had a rough start, and they brought it back very, very emphatically. That's what I was trying to say. I remembered words.
I never remember words. Words are superfluous and not required to be a caster. Trust me, as we move through our picks and bans. Cassiopeia going to be the next one taken away by UTS. No jungle focus coming from either side, which I find kind of interesting because I feel both of these teams actually are very heavily played through the jungle. Now for UQ, it's a lot of jungle mid synergy. For UTS, it's a lot of jungle and support synergy, as a matter of fact. But at this stage, each jungler kind of being given free reign. I do expect UQ to be the first one to pull the trigger and maybe look to limit UTS's champ pool, but instead they get rid of the Ashe.
Yeah, they get rid of the Ashe. We might be seeing UQ trying to force a Caitlyn ban out of UTS here. Otherwise, they run the risk of it getting picked by UQ, as we see the Caitlyn ban coming out as they're hovering Draven.
Okay, well, that would be a bit of a surprise. Now, Farmer and Revenge are, not accustomed to taking sort of strange picks in that bot lane should they feel confident in that matchup. And I first pick Draven would be the definition of confidence. I mean, the champion himself oozes it, and that would be a pretty big and bold move by UQ. 2 seconds left. All they got to do is hit that lock-in button, but nope. It's going to be Kalista. Big success internationally. We haven't seen it too much yet in OCE.
Yeah, had, like you said, pretty big success overseas when piloted by players who know how to use her. She had a bit of a falling out for a while where she fell out of meta. Placebo nerfs, itemization nerfs, direct nerfs just sort of knocked her down a lot of pegs. But she has been picked up. What is this? Is this last season? We're having a Kai'Sa being picked. That hasn't been a thing since Kai'Sa Xayah were the only 2 ADCs you could pick. So I am more than excited to see how they're going to pull this off. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see what UTS is going to be willing to do. I think the idea could be, perhaps being able to outpoke and out-harass this Kalista, yet those early trades are not really going to go the way I'm thinking UTS could be hoping for. Volibear as well is going to get locked in, a nice little flex that could be taken jungle or top. And UQ, well, they could look to do the same, actually, as they hover that set.
Yeah, they hover the set there. Really, really good champion, especially with the counter engage of against the Volibear. Volibear jumps in, you jump him right out back into the enemy team. So a really good champion there. Middle, we'll now be checking who they're going to pick. Based on their team comp, we could see something like I'm trying to think what would go really well here. A Zoe, for example, in the mid lane could be very good.
Yeah, a middle is actually a very, very strong Zoe player, so not too surprised to see this. The thing about Zoe is that if you want to play Zoe at that optimal level, you need to know what you're doing in the middle. One of those players who does. So I like this lock-in for UQ right now. A lot of damage. I mean, a lot of damage, realistically. Galio's going to be hovered by UTS, and I'm not too sure about this one. UTS, they are going to commit to that Galio. I worry a bit that Galio could be kind of harassed and poked out, yet post level 6, this lane should start to favor the Galio once more.
Yeah, I don't hate the Galio pick. Galio has very, very high inbuilt magic resist and is going to be able to resist a lot of what Zoe's trying to put out, especially with the poke coming from the effectively Lichbane passive on her kit. So I don't hate that idea, as we have a Darius getting banned out by UQ. So I guess that means they're assuming that's going to be a Volibear in the jungle, rather than a top lane Volibear, which is a fair enough assumption to make. Meanwhile, UTS bans a Graves.
Yep. I mean, it's a fair enough assumption to make because Akano has played Volibear in the past. Similarly, we have seen Bad Genius actually bust out the Darius as well. Tarek getting banned away from Revenge as one of those pocket picks that Revenge has in the back corner, so not too worried about having to deal with it. We'll just ban it away. Last ban's going to be going over to the University of Queensland right now. Still a lot of supports available. Wouldn't be surprised if they look to limit that with their next ban, and they instead focus on the Gnar.
Yeah, they've instead opted to pretty much leave all of the supports available for both teams. Other than that Taric ban, they're pretty much untouched right now. Something we haven't considered, which should be taken note, it could always be a Galio support. Unlikely, very unlikely.
Galio's too good into Zoe.
It's too good into Zoe, but, UTS could have something in mind. I doubt it, but it's potential.
Instead, they're going to take in that Shen, which actually has been left up. First Shen we're seeing tonight, as Shen actually has been one of the strongest top laners in this tournament. And UTS, I think a strategy's coming into play. Killer Instinct in, get that heroic entrance, get that stand united, and all of a sudden that Kai'Sa, who may have overextended, nope, it's you who fell into the trap, as Clint hovering the Urgot right now for himself, or rather Farmer hovering it for Clint. Either way, interesting to see Clint actually on an aggressive lane for once.
You know what that means?
No.
Support set.
You believe that support set?
I believe that's a support set.
I think it's support Thresh.
Never mind, it's a support Thresh. You know what? I'm even more happy now. I was going to say, we finally get that Omni Stone game that I was denied earlier. Even better, I get a Thresh game. I'm happy.
Yeah, the Callista Thresh bot lane, the Ballista bot lane. It's always fun when it gets brought out, and I'm excited to see it. Meanwhile, on the other side, yeah, it's not a Galio support. It could be that Nautilus support. So two strong hook champions going either way.
Yeah, and something I want to take note of for the side of UTS, look how tanky their team is and how defensive it's going to be. If you're Kai'Sa there, you have no threats. You can Killer Instinct in with no worry in the world. Meanwhile, UQ is going to have a potential hard time maybe bursting her down. So
we were talking before this matchup about UTS in particular and sort of their more standout players. I highlighted Akano, I highlighted ZY, you highlighted Desire Me, who is the same as Chaeyoung, so I believe it's now going to be Chaeyoung moving forward. And I always kind of said, like, Chaeyoung, I think, is a beneficiary of a team that sets himself up to win.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's bad. In fact, he has the best numbers out of any of the 80 carries in this tournament by a large margin. UTS, they want to fight, and they want to play through this bot lane. This team composition is the most. We want Chaeyoung to carry us to victory. We are going to protect you. We are going to fight around you. We are going to brawl. We are going to scrap, and you are going to look amazing.
Yeah, that's effectively what we've got here. The classic strength of the, even if you want to just go for a hard engage, you just go ultimate into a Galio, while you got Shen TPing on you. Suddenly there's now 3 right on top of the enemy, which is not where they want you to be. So really, really strong comp that they've built there. I really like what they're going for. It plays right into all their favors, and I think that that's going to be a very, very good team that's going to be hard to beat.
It is going to be hard to beat, especially when you consider the performance that UTS did put up last week against MDU. Now, we have highlights from that game, and when we return, our game of the week. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Desire Me, player with the most assists, ZY, and we could be going straight into a fight, straight out of the gate. It's 1v1 action time in terms of teams. It's really a 5v5, and ZY will be giving up that first blood over to Murdoch. That is the start that this side needed. Action happening up above, though, as Akano is going to be double teamed by the likes of Anderson and Killaroo. Yet it is a volley bear, and he is able to find one. Anderson still going to go in, but does not connect on the volley. Shockwave was not used successfully, but Anderson still is forced to retreat right when Simpmaster arrives, who now is actually entirely surrounded by the UTS squad. Big shield and flash into the showstopper, only gets one before Sherlock arrives to make the save. I liked the attempt. They're going at it quite heavily right now. Again, these are two big tank, beefy boys. Sherlock's actually flashing for it, and that's just going to get him show-stopped underneath the tower. Simpmaster should secure this kill.
I really can't say what that was. I don't know if it was a mistake, but you know what wasn't a mistake was the hook from ZY.
Yeah, that gets Anderson in a bad place. Desire Me finds one in the Crystal Arrow, finds another Ducky. Not long for this world, a double kill. The scarier thing as well from Murdoch, as we just saw, no vision around that dragon pit, which is spawning in about a minute. This is going to be a critical fight for Murdoch. They cannot afford to give the Dragon Soul over.
Yeah, they're beelining towards that pit as they know that they either get a soul or they win the fight. So really, really scary here as they're walking into a trap.
That they are. Rocket Grab connects onto Simpmaster, not their target. The Showstopper will try to buy time, but Desire Me already gets the kill. Enchanted Crystal Arrow connects onto Boy Meets Evil, and the follow-up damage is there. Decapitation out of Sherlock secures that kill, and now that will be Dragon Soul as well.
You know, that's my favorite thing as a support, where you flash the Enchanted Crystal Arrows so that your carry gets deleted instead of you. You know, at the end of the day, all you can try and play for is your KDA, even though Simpmaster has been playing very well.
Simpmaster is in a world of hurt right now. I can see all 5 members of UTS beelining towards him. They'll give the kill over to Otto as a nice gesture saying thank you for playing a support mid laner this time around.
And they're actually getting an ulti off.
Yeah, Crystal Arrow connects on to Killaroo, and that means let's go in. The Shockwave follow-up takes down the jungler, and in the backline, Anderson goes for Desperation. Crescendo, unfortunately, does not connect, and the flank from Simpmaster is too little too late. UTS, they're going to win this fight. They're going to look for the aces. Ducky gets nailed by the Rocket Grab. This team can do no wrong right now. Everyone dies on Murdoch. Give them the ace. Give them the game. UTS remains undefeated.
GG UTS, you've played well.
Everyone in that fountain, not much Murdoch can do. Let's pad those stats. Sherlock staying alive. Eventually, Ducky will fall down as well. Boy Meets Evil, he knows better. He'll just stay in that fountain. Nexus explodes, and UTS does get that.
You know, Otto on that rise is really UTS's late game insurance. Oh, so we have another potential invade here. Oh, they know.
Might get caught. In fact, they're going to commit 4. A flash already burned, but 2 follow-up flashes means the stun will connect, and Aviator is going to go down. First blood to UTS.
And they're just going to focus this bot lane again. Akano going in for another
no
game.
No flashes available, but lanterns are still there. Good use of the pillar. Actually catches the Dawn out. The hook does connect, and it's a double flay underneath the tower, but too much damage. I love the Presley attack taken by Sherlock, just trying to get as much damage as possible. But ID Albert is here to try and punish, gets a good knock away, but Chubby's immediately jumps back upon Sherlock. So sticky, yet not quite damaging enough. Here comes ID Albert going straight after Desire Me. Teleport going to be dropped, and this is not the fight New South Wales wants. The nice lantern will get Albert safely, but Distortion is the one who could be in a bit of trouble. The box actually catches Otto on the wrong side of it. The follow-up hook is there, and Otto is already down. Chubby tries to frontline, but cannot stop Sherlock from diving and slicing and dicing into the backline themselves. Desire Me, it sort of makes their opponents play to their level. Otto, though, keeps getting caught out. Realm Warp will get started, and he gets knocked out of it by Ida Alberts. Cloud Drake hasn't started. UTS will secure it, but New South Wales still might try to find the fight. Actually, they're going to back out. Sherlock, with that teleport, will slice and dice over the wall to cut off the escapes. Ida Albert forced to go in, sacrificing himself to save the team, and Sherlock actually gets caught out by the Dawn instead, though Sherlock will take one with him as he does find Aviator on the tail end, getting something in return, and now the rest of UTS arrives to possibly catch Distortion. Flashing forward is Akano, unable to chase this LeBlanc down, but up above the Dawn will sacrifice themselves. Goes golden to buy time. Eventually, Desire Me secures that one. Furthermore, Ivy Albert falls as well, and that's that 5-kill Hecarim no longer in the fight. The snipe from Otto finds Distortion. UTS running straight over New South Wales. The triple kill for Desire Me. A relatively even game for the first 15 minutes or so. Distortion trying to force something back. They may actually catch out Desire Me, and that is a lot of damage off the table. Sherlock jumps in, but goes golden immediately, and then slices and dices, tries to escape, but will go down. A double kill that is needed, and it's very important. Enchanted Crystal Arrow actually connecting onto Chubby down below, and Desire Me just shredding through the Shen. It's a 3v5. Everything stacked against New South Wales. They're not going to come back from this one. The knuckle of UTS just hitting in New South Wales' face again and again and again. Desire Me finding kill after kill. Nexus towers are falling one at a time. In fact, UTS, they're even going to think about diving into the fountain. In goes, I believe that was Desire Me, and that actually might come back to bite UTS, as now those health bars are quite low and Distortion is back up. Otto trying to do the smart thing and get the kill. Sorry, it's Akano who's whacking on the Nexus. They get the ace, they get the game. UTS remains undefeated. as we are on the Rift. A little peek into the journey of UTS as how they were able to get to that 4-0 scoreline. Well, now they have their toughest opponent to date with a full-strength University of Queensland Unshackled, also known as Scott, has been the catalyst to their victories. You can see him right now rocking the set. The boss, the champ, he is here to play.
Yeah, and we have a potential problem here for Clint as the flash on.
The flash stun, or the flash, I should say, taunt actually is going to connect, and Clint will go down. First blood, it goes to UTS.
Well, that is not what you want if you are UQ. You do not want your top laner a kill down, and on anyone that kill could have gone to, it went to the Kai'Sa, who this team is built around. So that is a very, very, very scary start for UQ, because right now you've got a Kai'Sa coming to lane with an extra long sword and the confidence that, hey, we can win this game.
Yeah, that is a great start, because not only is it going to get bot ahead, it's also going to help top get ahead as well. This is exactly what UTS would be looking for. In fact, every lane is going to have that like small 1 minion level advantage. We'll see how much that will affect trades moving forward, but it's going to make the job that much harder for Unshackled, aka Scott, in this jungle. Again, Akano, arguably the best jungler as well so far in this tournament. This is kind of a showdown between these two star junglers, and those little advantages, like having lanes being able to get that priority, means Scott most likely won't be able to invade like he likes to. He'll have to play a bit more defensively, and Akano could be able to punish it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think that it means that Scott isn't going to be able to take that hyper-aggressive, you know, sort of... I think we described it as like choking the enemy jungler out of the game. And I think he's not going to be able to do that if the current climate stays the way it is in bot lane. He will not have the safety to be able to walk down that bot side and even try it. And like you said, the placebo benefit for the other lanes are going to make it very, very hard. And this is where that little... Ooh, never mind. I was about to sell their praises of how that, you know, you mentioned that 1 minion advantage, sort of roughly in XP that they would have got. That's where it came through, as they got that level 2 just before UQ was able to. However, the dredge line does not hit, and it is not to benefit.
Yeah, very unfortunate whiff right there on that dredge line. ZY has been arguably one of my picks for the MVP so far this season, but little missteps like that, unfortunately, means UTS can't properly capitalize on the advantage given to them. Now, a gank happening mid lane just at the same time as Scott's trying to make a play down below, but it's the mid lane gank that might find success. The middle forced to burn both Flash and Ignite. The Paddle Star only pokes at Auto right back. Down below, the gank a bit more successful in UQ's favor. They were able to get Chaoyun down, and that's a big pickup for Pharma.
That is a very big pickup, especially when you look at summoners used. Not a flash blown for UQ. So they managed to get that without blowing a flash, which is pretty...
Oh, Akano's getting flashed upon himself, but it's the re-engage from Otto, getting the taunt, just holding Scott in place. The death sentence from Revenge downtown secures the kill, and UQ, they're right back in the lead.
Yeah, and this is sort of what we were talking about. You know, Scott likes to play these hyper aggro champions and likes to sort of get the ball rolling as soon as possible. And we were worried that he wasn't going to be able to do that with the current way the game was being played. However, it is not a problem, as he has managed to get 2 kill participation already.
Oh, this is very bad for a middle just out of tower range, and that is a fortunate situation. A tip of the hat for a play well done by Otto, who proceeds to throw his Q backwards. Okay, not too sure about the end of that one. Either way, though, a good little play for UQ as they've got themselves the kill lead. It's now a gold lead. Map pressure reaffirmed by the blue side.
Yeah, they've managed to sort of stabilize themselves, now they're actually at a gold advantage over the benefit that UTS was able to create with that level 1 gank. So really, really proactive plays coming from UQ, counteracting the proactive play of UTS, which is sort of what they've been known for and what they do really, really well. So I'm excited to see how they continue to do this. A middle having some success in that mid lane, having that kill on him is definitely going to help on that first back that he's able to make. Otto's going to go for a reset here, try hit 6 and go for a gank. Meanwhile, in the top lane, you know, Shen doing what Shen does best, which is poke people down.
Yeah, Shen very much a lane bully, and Clint, having already given up first blood, opted for the Cole buy on the Urgot, and We always say Clint, is a top laner who you're going to expect to lose lane and still be relevant late. Well, kind of applying that strategy once more. Am expecting this game to be a very bloody one. Both of these teams have very high kill counts. They love to fight. UTS in particular, they have the highest kill count in this tournament. They fight, they get objectives, they die a lot, but they always seem to get those trades in their favor. So even down 1K, I wouldn't be surprised if UTS actually commits for some big banging plays, as it kind of does see Scott right now currently recalling. I don't think any trigger is going to get pulled just because there's no backup there, but it does mean Dragon should go to UTS.
Yeah, and Kallista's little face there isn't going to be able to see that Dragon Pit. So really, really patient play coming out from Arcano. Not even try to stop the back by putting the E down just to be annoying. He understands that, hey, if I stop him here, I can get complete benefit and get this Dragon without contest. As we see, they should be picking this up in a second, no contest. And that's the first Mountain Drake for UTS.
UTS so good at objective control throughout this tournament, and UQ do kind of let that one slip behind them. You can see the question mark things coming down, and now it's an interesting situation because nothing really to play for on that bot side. Do both bot laners continue to position so aggressively, or do we see that double lane swap?
It's a good question. I think that right now UQ is more than happy staying where they are, seeing as they have pretty dominant control, especially if they get this crab. They're more than happy. They have jungle control of bot side, as we might have an actual fight going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say any neutral objective is going to be given over for free. UTS, they're looking for that fight. Bad Genius flashing over the wall for it. Revenge with a nice simple flay kind of puts the end to that one. Very over-eager UTS, and they don't get anything for it.
I think UTS might be getting a little scared. They're getting a little panicky. I think they've got, oh, cool, we got that first kill, we're doing really well, and then it sort of turned around, and now they're like, oh no, we need to, even the scoreline, which if they play just normal, good League of Legends like that with the objective control that they have, they should be fine as it is, but they're trying to do stuff more than they should.
Flash. Oop, but it was on a ward. So, not really going to see any play out of Scott on this instance, and again, every time we seem to be going bot lane, it's sort of one of these bot sides shoving against the other. They're not really finding that equilibrium state just yet.
Yeah, they're not really balancing out as well as some lanes do. It always seems to be someone trying to push an aggression, as Otto takes a lot of damage there in the mid lane, hit by a max range.
Oh, this actually could be a good play onto Chaeyoung. Scott going straight for ZY instead, and Farmer's already there to throw in some spears. Death Sentence and Dredgeline interaction means ZY does escape.
I am curious. Oh, never mind. It wasn't down.
Oh, teleport. Teleport coming through. This is going to be Bad Genius an attempt at number 2, but already is played out of it. Farmer, though, stuck in a bad position. The Death Sentence keeps the Shen away, yet the rest of UTS are here, and Farmer will go down. Heroic entrance means it's 5 versus 4, and yet still a middle. Looking for picks on that tail end. Cannot connect on the Sleepy Trouble Bubble as Otto pulls Revenge into a bad situation, but the Rend is not enough damage to take the Thresh down. It's going to be a tower siege. Again, no dragon to fight for. Not sure why everyone's here, but hey, it's a UTS game. It means we're going to fight.
Yeah, they do like their fights. Oh, very good.
Beyond Death gets the catch onto Otto, but up above is going to be another kill for Clint. It's a trade right there as they do find Revenge falling down. Still, UTS lose 2 members when they didn't need to lose any.
Yeah, and this is sort of what seems to be happening with how they play, is they like to get kills, but they also die a lot themselves. Ooh, the Sleepy Trouble Bubble actually landing there. Not going to, account too much, but actually managing to land it is, a middle has landed.
We're not done. Scott's actually still looking for flanks just above the screen right now. You can see the pings going down. I'm not sure what is happening. Let's bring that camera up. Come on, let's see it. There it is. There's the fight, and it is Scott just going barreling on in. Bad Genius, that's a lot of spears into that Shen. He's asleep as well. Rend those spears, get another kill. UQ adapting to UTS's chaotic style and looking pretty good, although that dredge line means Scott's going to take a couple tower hits, drops the shield, looks healthy, but Otto coming for a flank on his own. Some members of UQ have escaped. Scott has not. He's going to be held in place. Showstopper to escape, follow up by the flash. The mechanics just too good.
Yeah, able to get that showstopper to get away there. That was a really extended ARAM fight that really didn't need to exist.
Still no dragon.
Still no dragon. No objective to fight over. That was simply just the teams wanting to have some bloodshed. No real reason for that fight to continue past the initial, but hey, UQ is more than happy as they get 2 kills on their ADC and 2 on their top lane, so they are more than happy with how that fight turned out.
Absolutely, and just think how everything is going to change when that Ocean Drake then spawns in that bot side in 45 seconds. That was a 2.5-minute extended fight.
Yeah. For no reason.
For no reason.
No objective. The tower was nowhere near falling anyway. It wasn't like they were going to get control of tower. It wasn't like they were going to get the dragon. There was none there. That was simply just UTS and UQ standing in the middle of the ring and going, okay, you want to slug it out? Let's slug it out.
And it's because of the confidence of each of these two teams. UTS, this is their style. They like to fight. UQ, they have that swagger where they think they are better than you, and they will take anything that is being thrown at them and try to throw it right back. I think UQ is going to be the first team that's not really intimidated by UTS's aggressive posturing, and we sort of saw that with that extended fight. Neither team wanted to back away. It was kind of like, you know, birds or something when they're fighting over a mate and they puff up their chests and slam into each other. That was the equivalent that we saw in that bot lane. Not much really to be gained, yet they're still going to go at it. It's now Scott's going for this dragon steal. It's going to be secured by UTS, but with that lantern, Scott shall escape.
Yeah, he does get out. You know, that's the strength of that Hex Flash plus the Thresh. The lantern is a very, very effective tool at getting in and out of places. And in this case, Scott uses it to get out of trouble.
Yes, you do see Scott right now looking to possibly make a play on that mid lane, but Otto going to play this one safe. Go ahead and step back. Now, the big thing for UTS, as we've mentioned before, is going to be Chaeyoung on this Kai'Sa. And so far, yes, there's a couple kills under the Kai'Sa's belt, yet not really doing so well in lane. That said, Akano is able to pick up a kill as a gank from down below. Does pick up another one. Unfortunately, it doesn't go to the Kai'Sa. However, it is more gold and more acceleration for this bot lane.
Yeah, you know, although the Kai'Sa might not have got the kill gold, you know, their benefit is that they're going to get the tower plate gold, they're going to get the advantage of being in lane, the minions, etc. Whereas they're not going to get that benefit onto the Kalista. So really, really curious to see how this goes. Kalista has picked up the Blade of the Ruin King first, so in a pretty good position as Scott picks up the Herald.
Yeah, Herald will be taken, and I expect it to be used in mid lane for a middle. A middle so far has been pretty quiet in this game. Hasn't really had that stand-up performance yet. I mean, 1-0-2 quiet in this game, right? 12 minutes. But that's just because of how chaotic this game has been. A middle, I think as soon as we start to see a bit more from him and a bit more roams, is going to have that big impact. And I think a middle is actually going to be that crucial member in sort of shutting Chaeyoung down.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the damage that comes out of the real ballista that is Zoe, along with the Sleepy Trouble Bubbles. You know, not only potential for damage, but also for just completely forcing a fight and then...
Ooh, Hex Flash, but it's not quite over the wall. Still doesn't matter, though, as Haymaker and the Showstopper should catch Bad Genius out. Yet, with that lunge, gets under the tower, shield by Scott. Means no chance for a re-engage or a trade. No one else from UTS making their way to that top side of the map. In fact, everyone else was resetting at the moment. So it's actually a lot of pushing lanes right now for the University of Queensland.
Yeah, although that fight didn't go the way they wanted and they didn't actually land the... Good paddle style there from Zoe. But although they didn't land the Fear Beyond Death from Clint in the top lane, they do still get the benefit of the pushing tower plus the minion wave. So overall, a net positive for them, although a bit of a shaky net positive.
Yeah, it's small advantages at this stage, realistically, going to either side. UQ, with that small gold lead, should be looking to extend it in the near future. Another 2 minutes until our next dragon, and I do imagine these teams are going to scrap for it, only because UTS, they're probably looking at this Dragon Soul as a potential win condition. They're a little bit behind in tempo, and that's the exact sort of catalyst they might need to come back into it. Not to mention, a Cloud Soul with all these global ultimates means at any given moment, they'll be willing to go 5v whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's really one of the strengths of UTS is their objective control, which is, you know, the one benefit that Akano has currently is that he's been able to control these objectives in Scott hasn't been able to capitalize on the benefits that he has created and get those objectives other than the Herald. He did get Herald, but in terms of Dragon, hasn't been able to get anything. So that is a potential win con of theirs. If they can get these drakes and get these advantages, it gives them a much better chance of being able to compete with UQ.
What I'm curious about, though, is the decision from UQ to send Farmer to the top side with this dragon spawning in a minute 12 seconds. They might actually be looking to concede this third dragon, and that would be very interesting. Or they could be looking to pull 4 members of UTS up to that tasty Callista bait, leaving that dragon open now for UQ to step forward and take in 1 minute's time. Interesting how just the exposure of 180 carry just seemed to pull all of UTS like a magnet to the top side.
The ravenous dogs that are the rest of the lane see a lone bot laner and start foaming at the mouth at the thought of a free kill. Not to be, however, as they are starting to prep around that dragon. No reason why UTS shouldn't have already been prepped around, but you know. It's better late than never, as they're trying to sort of get some control, but it is not to be, as UQ has got a dominant position. And Farmer is actually coming down anyway, so whatever position they had in control, they have now lost.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving up top lane right now over to Otto, who does have teleport available. So UTS, it's in their best interest to extend this as much as possible. I somehow doubt that's going to be the case, though. UQ, hungry for a fight. You can see Revenge with his positioning was trying to find Akano. Not going to force the issue just yet. As interestingly enough, no one has reacted to that Galio on the top side yet. A lot of pings coming out. UQ, they want to fight, and they want to fight sooner than later because they are giving up a lot in that top lane the longer this gets extended. UTS, I'm liking the patience from them right now. They understand that lanes are kind of pushing in their favor. They have to force UQ to make a move, and UQ does just that. They do start this dragon. UTS, they're not going to contest.
Yeah, they're not going to contest it here because at the end of the day, they've still got a pretty big benefit in that top lane, and they're just going to generate some top control and prep for Baron in 3 minutes. So I think that's what they're going to be sort of trying to do. I do think it's interesting that, you know, they saw the Galio up the top for so long and yet opted not to... Oh, actually, this could be very, very scary.
This is... I'm not sure the play. The dredge line connects onto Revenge, and here comes Akano straight to that backline. Farmer will go down. Heroic entrance. Arrives too late to catch anyone. Revenge was able to get over that wall. Still, it's a pick onto the Callista, which means UQ does not want this fight. UTS, they're going to get a lot of pressure in the mid lane.
Yes, they are going to get a lot of pressure as the dredge line does land, but Zoe does, you know, she's thinking with portals.
Oh, that one does not connect. That one hits a minion, unfortunately, for Revenge. But Scott's going in anyways. Tries to beeline for the backline, but gets instantly deleted by the damage of UTS. Another kill secured. The tower might be saved, but they're now starting to bleed gold over to the UTS side.
Yeah, this is not what you want to do if you are UQ. You're now bleeding gold away from what little advantages you did have. You're still at the you still have the advantage. You're just under 1,000 gold up. But that 1,000 gold can turn into a deficit very, very quickly if you keep throwing gold away in unnecessary kills.
UTS definitely starting to fight back into this game. I don't understand why UQ thought they could, you know, try to force an issue being down 4-5 without Farmer in that situation. And even after that missed death set and Scott still committing to the play, and you saw how much damage he took and how quickly the power of the Essence Reaver onto Chaeyoung just did so much against him. And now it is a 2-item spike for Chaeyoung. This Kaisa starting to get more activated, and we're starting to see UTS's team composition come together.
Yeah, and I have my concerns with the build path of the middle here, opting for a second item Medjai Soul Stealer. My only concern here is that he's only got 1 kill and 2 assists, so it's not like he's been accentuating what would be an effective item very far. So I wonder if that's a bit of a dead item that has potentially going to put him behind a little bit, unless they're able to start quickly capitalizing and getting kills under their belt. So it's either a confirmation that they're confident in their next, 10 minutes worth of play, or it's a sort of a bet that they're hoping that they'll be able to, take advantage of.
If today has been telling me anything, though, it's to expect the unexpected in this tournament, with this game actually being much more reserved than I was expecting. Normally, I'd be all for this Soul Stealer just because UTS is probably going to be looking to fight. Picking up that Soul Stealer, you are going to start getting it because UTS is going to be playing aggressively. That still might happen, yet after that third dragon, UTS, they're approaching this game a lot more reserved than normal. They're actually reading the map and making the correct decisions as a result, and even when UQ is getting trades that don't involve fights, UTS is always making sure to get something back. So I do like how UTS is approaching this game. I'm with you with my reservations about the Soul Stealer. However, I still have this underlying sense that that could entirely flip back to normalcy, which is fighting all the time, at the split of a second. Case in point, here comes Scott running straight after that back line. Again, gets caught by the dredge line, and no death sentence is going to connect. So UTS should be able to walk away.
Yeah, they should be able to walk away here, but we're starting to see a little bit more fights being pushed here as top lane is about to get a scary, scary taste of Callista. Not to be. Callista's just going to clear the minion wave.
Oh, but yeah, Otto's still in a bit of strife. It does look like Scott's pulled out. However, UTS setting up this 1-3-1 with Shen and Galio definitely has UQ a little bit scrambled. They're trying to force issues, and then they're getting caught. Another big grab for ZY to set up Chaeyoung with a kill. That is a big pick onto a middle, and yeah, now UTS, they can go right back to their 1-3-1 unscathed.
Yeah, and see, that's the problem you face as a Zoe who spams your ultimate a lot, is it tells you where you're going to land. So as a hook champion, you just go, sweet, I have a ticking timer for my mid lane meal.
Oh, that said, it was Scott getting to that back line, yet Akano's here to turn it around. Heroic entrance helps secure the kill as Bad Genius is trying to find yet another pick. Clint on the flank will arrive too little too late, and UTS, they control this rift right now.
Yeah, they control this rift, they control the jungle, they control everywhere right now. They are in an incredibly dominant position as everyone on their team is pretty much doing their job, what they needed to do. You know, Kai'Sa's 3-1, you've got a 4-0 jungler, you've got a pretty strong top laner, your support's landing the hooks and landing the ultimates that need to be done. And meanwhile, you still have a 0-stack Medjai's on the enemy team. So UTS just making the better decisions, in my opinion, here. Macro and micro, they are playing much better as they're now just making their way down south to prep for that Cloud Drake.
All I can say is the only pick that I'm kind of questioning on the UTS side, if we're going to just quickly go back to sort of champ selection, is that Kai'Sa. I still imagine that this comp would almost work better with something more akin. I guess they couldn't pull it off because it was banned, but I think the Ashe actually is probably what they wanted almost in this type of situation, or maybe even like a Senna. I don't know. The Kai'Sa just seems like the weird pick to me. However, it's working in tenfold.
I think Kai'Sa Ezreal would have been the only two that could pull this off effectively, because what they're trying to go for is a hyper mobile, hard to stick down character, whereas when you have someone like the Ashe,
hold this thought right now. A middle is in a bad place at a bad time. Another kill secured by Chaeyoung, and yeah, okay, I will concede your point. The mobility is super great. What about something like Tristana?
Medjai's, by the way. Tristana is Tristana could work. The problem with Tristana is she has a ramp-up time, whereas Kai'Sa...
Oh, Dredgeline's going to connect right smack dab into Scott's face. Clint, though, still gets to the back line, yet runs into Otto and not Chaeyoung, who he wants to find. Otto picks up the kill on Farmer, which means a lot of the damage is gone. UQ in absolute shambles. Chaeyoung leading that charge to find Clint, who gets taunted and brought down. 4 members from UQ are dead. That's going to be a Baron going to UTS.
And see, that's why you pick the Kai'Sa over the Tristana, is because the invisibility, the ultimate coming out of her makes her incredibly, incredibly hard to lock down, whilst also putting out a ridiculous amount of damage. So I really like the pick. It's unconventional, but overall it works for their team comp. And although she might not be as strong as some of the other champions, they have built a team comp around her that allows her to be the stronger.
As the middle might be getting caught out of position yet again. Akano and Bad Genius on the hunt, but the Void Seeker, oh, it just barely misses through the left. That Scaredy Cat emote as well. A middle very lucky to be alive, and this one's actually going for a bit of a snipe, but too many Baron-empowered minions in the way.
Where is Scott?
Where is
Scott on the back line?
What is Scott doing right now? Trying to find that flank, and actually has caught UTS completely surrounded. A lot of pings are going down. Mr. Cameraman, please. Okay, well, we get to see the tail end of that, unfortunately. Don't really see where that one went. I like the play from Scott, just wasn't able to pull it off.
Yeah, I looked at the map and I'm like, why is there a blue circle in the red side jungle? There was only one person it could have been, so going for a sort of counter-jungling play there was really, really smart of him. Luckily, he gets out alive. That was a dangerous play, as that could have gone very, very wrong for them, as this mid laners need to be very careful, as there is a lot of people ready to pick them off.
Yeah, Clint in particular is about to get himself surrounded. Actually, he's going to try and recall. Will he get away in time? It's going to be close. They know he's there. That wasn't going to connect. He could have escaped, yet pressure got to him. Actually hasn't been spotted yet.
He's been...
Okay, he just got hit by the sweeper. He did a very good job in trying to avoid that bad situation, but that is a mauling and a half. Oh, even Chaeyoung's arriving. Going to use Killer Instinct to get in. I'm not sure I agree with that call, but hey, a kill is a kill either way. UTS, they have such a commanding lead right now. You wouldn't think it, though, looking at the gold difference.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but that's the strength of... that's the strength of Kai'Sa getting shown there again is, although it's a weird decision to go for that ultimate, it's quite a short cooldown, nearly halfway done already. So no real reason not to, as you're just trying to get Kai'Sa those kills, because even if things don't go your way now, as long as she has some kills, she might be able to pull it back later, as they're just going to grab that in him. And
look at the back line. Scott's on the back line yet again, trying to find that flank right now, as we do see a bit of action. Revenge might be the one getting caught out just on screen. You also have Farmer, who's currently shoving in that mid lane, so a bit of chaotic action everywhere. Scott did go down on that backline flank play, and that's the second time he's attempted it, and it just has not worked out.
I don't know how... I don't think Scott's played as well as he usually does this game. He usually plays incredibly dominating. Ooh, actually manages to get out there. Usually plays very dominant games, but unfortunately today, he's still made some plays, but I don't think they've been anywhere near the quality that he's usually at, which is really hurting UQ's chances. He had a very good early game and managed to get those counter ganks and those roams in, which were able to get them anywhere into the game. But this mid-game and this mid to late game transition has not been kind to him, and
he's playing like he's still ahead.
He's playing like he's ahead when he's 0-4 compared to the 5-0 jungler.
Yeah.
And if you want to see someone who should be building a Medjai's, Galio, who has now got a 9-stack Medjai's, is the perfect sort of pick of who should be building it, because his team's ahead, he's ahead. Even if he dies, he's still getting stacks on it from the assist, whereas a middle has not been able to get those stacks.
Look, I hear you. All right, I hear you, but really Akano, who hasn't died at all, should be buying the Medjai's, because Volibear and Medjai's go together like,
like avocado and toast.
Absolutely.
So not at all.
Whoa. I guess there's no Melbourne teams in this game, so that's all well and good. Anyways, the mid-siege continuing at the moment by UTS, although they should be looking to rotate down to that Dragon. Akano has already started, but UQ in position to try and fight it. Blasting Cone available for Scott. As you can see, in middle gets a lot of poke down, actually, and now Akano might have to back out. It could be in UTS's favor to sort of concede this one, but instead they drag it out of the pit. UQ looking for the flank. Scott's running straight in. Does not get the steal as Soul is secured by UTS. And now it's time for the great escape, or is it? Trouble Bubble connects on the ZY. Look at that back line. The heroic entrance is coming in. UTS is in this fight, and Chaeyoung is getting so much damage and completely untouched. Killer Instinct into the back line. Decimates UQ, and that should be a UTS victory. A quadra kill for Chaeyoung.
And that's why Kai'Sa's the pick here, not the Tristana, not an Ezreal. Kai'Sa are able to just absolutely ramp it up when need be, ram through the enemy team right onto the back line, and pick up a quadra kill in this game, as it is a pretty much a confirmed win. It's a surrender coming out of UQ, as a victory for UTS brings them still undefeated.